Once upon a time, there was a king who was ruler over the largest, most spectacular kingdom in the world. Kind and just, his compassion was known throughout the land, and his subjects were happy and content. Residing within the palace stables was the kingdom's guardian and protector, the precious enchanted wolf named Fenrir. However, the kingdom was without a queen. She died at a young age, coming down with an illness soon after childbirth. Though she left the king with a beautiful and kind daughter, whose hand was fought over by all the men throughout the kingdom. However, the queen also left the king with two stepdaughters, neither of whom shared the qualities of his daughter. Ugly and rude they both were, and spoilt rotten. Though heartbroken, the king had to remarry for the good of the kingdom. Since the kingdom's beginning, the queen would be decided by a magical ring. The ring would only fit the woman who was to marry the king. One day, the two stepdaughters were messing around with the ring, as they wanted to marry their stepfather for personal gain and increase their wealth. Fortunately, the ring fitted neither of them, but in their frustration, they threw the ring onto the ground. The princess found the ring, and to protect her stepsisters from their father's anger, she slid the ring on her finger for safekeeping, planning on placing it back in its rightful place. However, when her father entered the hall, the ring would not come off. She struggled and struggled, but it was no use. The ring had chosen her. She was to marry her own father. The king wanted to find some way to solve the situation, as his love for her was that of a father and a daughter. However, there was no way around it. The law of the land dictated they must be wed. Though the princess thought hard and tried to do everything she could to stall the ceremony, she decided to ask for 3 dresses in an attempt to stall the ceremony. One the colour of the sky, and the most beautiful blue of heaven. A dress the colour of the moon, the purest of whites. And a final dress, a dress the colour of the sun, made of gold and diamonds that sparkled. So throughout the night, the tailors worked non-stop. And in the morning, they brought her 3 of the most beautiful dresses the kingdom had ever seen. Filled with both sadness and fear, she agreed to get married the next day. During that night, the princess decided to escape. She packed all of her belongings, including the 3 dresses, into a magical bag passed down from her mother. The bag was no larger than a kitten, but could hold all of the kingdom's possessions. The princess crept through the palace walls, and on her way out, she passed through the stables. Suddenly, 2 bright white eyes appeared, and then, out of the shadows, emerged the enchanted wolf, Fenrir. The wolf stopped her and begged her to take him with her. For centuries he had been living in the stable. He wanted adventure and freedom, and in return for being freed, he would protect her from detection, much like he did to the entire kingdom. The princess agreed, and like that, the wolf turned into a flock of birds that flew out of the door. In their place was a long hooded coat made out of the wolf's fur and body. The princess pulled the coat over herself and ran off into the night, far away from the palace and her home.